The sun filtered through the windows, casting a warm and inviting glow throughout the Smith household. Jake was in the living room, deeply engrossed in a phone call with a friend, brainstorming ideas for their YouTube channel. Meanwhile, his stepsister, Emily, was in the kitchen, whipping up a batch of her signature chocolate chip cookies. As Jake discussed potential video concepts, he suddenly heard a soft jingling sound coming from the kitchen. Curious, he peeked in and saw Emily with a wide grin on her face, dancing to a catchy tune playing in the background. She was so engrossed in the moment that she decided to put on a little show for Jake. Unable to contain his laughter, Jake put his call on hold and walked into the kitchen. Emily, noticing her audience, began to dance with even more enthusiasm, accidentally splattering some cookie dough around the kitchen. The scene was hilarious and filled with joy. Jake couldn't believe his eyes. His stepsister, covered in flour and dancing like a pop star, was putting on a show just for him. He started clapping and cheering her on, and Emily, feeling even more motivated, decided it was time for a grand finale. With a spin and a jump, she landed right next to a bowl full of chocolate chips. The kitchen erupted in laughter and sweetness. "This is going to be called the cookie dance," Emily exclaimed, raising a finger in triumph. Jake, still laughing, joined her in an impromptu celebratory dance. They decided that in honor of their fun performance, they would bake cookies for the whole family. When the cookies were finally done, the aroma filled the house, and soon, every family member was drawn to the kitchen by the delicious scent. Emily and Jake shared the story of their impromptu show, and everyone laughed together. The afternoon ended with a table full of cookies and an atmosphere filled with love and laughter. Sometimes, it's those simple, fun moments that truly strengthen family bonds. As the family sat around the table, Emily decided to make the moment even more special. "Let's have a cookie decorating competition," she suggested enthusiastically. Everyone agreed immediately, and soon, each family member took a cookie and began decorating it with colored icing, chocolate chips, and fruits. Jake, who had always been creative, decided his cookie would represent a vibrant ocean scene. With bright blue icing, he created waves and decorated his masterpiece with small candy fish and starfish. "Look, it's a coral reef," he said, holding up his cookie like a work of art. Their dad, known for his incredible sense of humor, attempted to make a cookie that looked like a sea monster but ended up with something resembling a small alien. "What do you think?" "It's the Cookie Lake Monster," he joked, making everyone laugh. Emily, not to be outdone, carefully drew a rainbow and a cloud on her cookie. "This is the happiness cookie," she said, "because it always brings smiles." Their mom, seeing Emily's dedication, decided to join in the fun and decorated a cookie with a big smile and bright eyes. The competition was filled with laughter, jokes, and a bunch of delicious cookies. In the end, everyone voted for the most creative cookie. Although they all knew it was just a fun game, no one could resist the incredible art they had created. When it came time to taste the cookies, the family sat at the table, each with their masterpiece in front of them. As they bit into their decorated cookies, the taste of chocolate and the sweetness of the icing filled their mouths. But what truly filled their hearts was the love and laughter they shared. The afternoon continued with stories about their favorite moments together, plans for the future, and shared dreams. The warmth of those simple, authentic moments brought them even closer. As the day wore on, the sun began to set, painting the sky with beautiful shades of orange and pink. The family went out to the patio to enjoy the sunset, and as the day came to a close, they realized that moments like these were what truly mattered in life. With a smile on his face, Jake looked at his stepsister and his family, knowing that they would always carry these moments in their hearts. The day had been perfect, filled with love, laughter, and, of course, delicious cookies. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the family settled into the patio, enjoying the soft evening breeze and talking about what they loved most about each other. Emily, with a bright look in her eyes, said, "What I love most about today is that we did something together. I love spending time with you all." Their mom smiled and added, "Those are the moments we treasure, the ones that remind us how important it is to be a family." Jake shared his thoughts. "Sometimes life can be a bit overwhelming, But days like this remind us that we can always find joy in the little things, like dancing in the kitchen or baking cookies. Everyone nodded, understanding the message. Simple experiences could be the most memorable. So, as the sky darkened, they decided to do something special to end the night, share stories about their happiest days. Jake went first, recalling a memory of when they went to the beach together, building sand castles and laughing as the waves splashed their feet. Emily followed, remembering her first family bike ride and how their dad had run behind her to make sure she didn't fall. Their mom recalled the day they celebrated her 10th birthday, when the whole family came together to organize a surprise party. As they shared their memories, laughter and love filled the air, and the stars began to shine in the sky. Jake, feeling the warmth of his family, suggested that they make a tradition of these nights where they would gather to share stories and celebrate what it meant to be part of this beautiful family. Everyone agreed, excited by the idea of creating new memories together. "We can call it Story Night," Emily said, smiling. "That way, we'll always have a moment to remember how happy we are together." With the idea set, the night continued with more laughter, jokes, and, of course, some chocolate chip cookies. As the moon lit up the patio, Jake looked around and felt deeply grateful for the family he had. He knew that each of these moments counted and that they would always be a treasure in his heart. Finally, when the stars shone brightly, the family said goodnight, each carrying the warmth of those shared moments with them. As they went inside, Jake smiled, knowing that the day had been just the beginning of many more family adventures to come. As the days passed, Story Night became a beautiful tradition in the Smith family. Each week, they would gather to share their memories, laughter, and experiences. Emily became the official storyteller, always ready to share invented tales filled with fantastical characters and unexpected twists. Her imagination seemed to have no limits. One night, while everyone was gathered in the garden, Emily decided to take the tradition a step further. "What if we make a book of our stories?" she proposed enthusiastically. "We can write down everything we share and have it with us forever." Everyone was excited about the idea and began to think about how they would do it. Jake suggested that each family member could contribute their own stories and drawings. "We can make a drawing of each memory we share, so it won't just be a book but also an album of our adventures together," he explained. The idea was met with applause and many smiles. That night, after sharing stories, everyone got to work. Emily, excited, took a large notebook and began to write, while Jake dedicated himself to drawing a big sandcastle, remembering their days at the beach. Their mom contributed her artistic talent, creating vibrant illustrations of the decorated cookies they had made together. Their dad, not wanting to be left out, decided to make a caricature of the family gathered in the kitchen, laughing as Emily danced. Creativity flowed, and as the book began to take shape, the atmosphere was filled with laughter and joy. As each week passed, the storybook was enriched with new tales and drawings. Sometimes, they would sit in a circle, reading aloud the stories they had written, while everyone laughed and enjoyed the memories they brought to life. With each story, their bonds grew even stronger. One day, while they were in the library, Emily found an old family photo album. "Look at this," she exclaimed, holding up the album. "We can add photos to our book too, so we can see how we've changed over the years." Everyone agreed, and they decided to have a family photo session to capture special moments they could add to the book. They organized an afternoon of photos in the local park with a camera, dividing into groups and capturing fun moments, running, jumping, and even making silly faces. Jake took the camera and became the official photographer, making sure every expression and every laugh was immortalized. After several hours of fun, they sat under a large tree, sharing snacks and laughing about the day's antics. "I can't wait to see how the photos turn out in our book," Jake said, feeling that each activity brought them closer together. Returning home, excited to review the photos, everyone got to work on the book. They spent the night choosing the best images and pasting them into the pages alongside their stories. When they finally finished, the book was filled with colors, laughter, and memories to treasure forever. On a special night, they decided to have a book completion ceremony. They sat in their living room, each holding their creation with pride. "From now on, this will be our family treasure," Emily said with a smile. "We can always come back to it and remember all these incredible moments." And so, the Smith family's storybook became not just a legacy, but also a symbol of their love and connection. Each time they opened it, they relived laughter, adventures, and, most importantly, the beautiful bond they had created together. With a storybook in hand, the Smith family decided it was time to share their joy with others. Emily, always full of ideas, suggested they organize a special day in the community where they could share their stories and the book. "We could invite our friends and other kids to share their stories too," she proposed enthusiastically. The idea was an instant success, and the family began planning an event in the local park where they could read their stories, do crafts, and, of course, enjoy delicious cookies. They spent days preparing for the event, decorating the park with colorful balloons and creating posters that invited everyone to join the Story Fest. Finally, the day of the event arrived. The sun was shining, and a soft breeze made the atmosphere even more special. The family set up a large table covered in colorful tablecloths filled with cookies, juice, and, of course, the storybook. Little by little, the neighborhood kids and their families began to arrive, curious about what had been organized. Jake, excited, took the microphone to welcome everyone. "Thank you for coming today. We want to celebrate the magic of storytelling and sharing moments together. We hope you enjoy this festival as much as we enjoyed preparing it." As the afternoon progressed, the activities began. Emily led a craft workshop where the kids decorated cookies and created their own storybooks. Jake, with his camera ready, became the event photographer, capturing fun moments and bright smiles. After the crafts, it was time for the most anticipated activity, storytelling. The family sat on a small improvised stage and began sharing some of their best stories from the book. The kids were captivated as they listened to tales of beach adventures, magical cookies, and the story of the cookie dance. One of the neighborhood kids, Lucas, shyly raised his hand and said, "Can I tell a story too?" The family smiled, encouraging him to come up on stage. With a bit of nervousness, but a lot of determination, Lucas began to tell his story about a friendly dragon who lived in a magical forest. His tale captivated everyone, and at the end, he received enthusiastic applause. The event continued with more stories, laughter, and games. As the afternoon wore on, Emily addressed everyone again. "Thank you all for sharing this day with us. We wanted to take a piece of our festival with you, so we've prepared some storybooks for you to take home and fill with your own adventures." The kids were excited to receive their blank books, ready to be filled with their creativity. Jake felt a deep satisfaction seeing so many kids smiling and sharing their own stories. "This is just the beginning," he thought. "Together, we can create a world full of tales and memories." As the sun began to set, the festival came to an end. Everyone started saying goodbye, filled with new friendships and memories to treasure. The Smith family felt happy to share their love for stories and the joy of being together. Back home, everyone was tired but content. "Today was incredible," Emily said with a smile that lit up her face. "We not only shared our stories but also listened to others. We should definitely do it again." Jake nodded, feeling that they had done something valuable. "This has been a gift for us and for everyone who came. Stories are a bridge that connects us, and today, we built many bridges." And so, the Smith family's storybook became a symbol of their commitment not only to their memories, but also to the community around them. Each time they shared their love for storytelling, they knew they were creating a legacy that would endure in the hearts of all. The idea of the Story Fest became an annual event in the community. Each year, the Smith family prepared with enthusiasm to share their tales and create a space where everyone could tell their stories. With each new edition, the event grew in popularity, attracting more families and kids who wanted to participate. Over time, Emily decided she wanted to do something even more special. One day, while they were organizing the next event, she said, "What if this year we put on a play based on some of our stories? We could invite everyone to participate." The idea was met with great enthusiasm, and everyone began working on the details. Jake took on the role of director, while Emily became the scriptwriter. Together, they reviewed the storybook and chose some tales that could be adapted for the stage. They had fun reimagining their stories and creating colorful characters and witty dialogues. The family met several times to rehearse and adjust details, with laughter filling the air. As the event date approached, the excitement grew. They invited the neighborhood kids to participate in the play, and soon they had a diverse cast ready to bring the tales to life. There were those who played animated cookies, friendly dragons, and even a cookie lake monster. The day of the event arrived, and the park was filled with energy. The family made sure the stage was decorated with vibrant colors, and the storybook was displayed prominently on a table, inviting everyone to browse it and remember past adventures. The play began, and the actors moved with enthusiasm, each story coming to life as it was performed, filling the park with laughter and applause. Lucas, the boy who had told his story the previous year, had a starring role as the dragon, and his performance was spectacular. Emily, dressed as a cookie, stole the show with her contagious energy. After the play, everyone gathered around the table to enjoy the cookies and juice they had prepared. The family felt proud of what they had created together. The connection between them and the community had grown even stronger. As the afternoon wore on, Emily proposed something new. What if we start a book club? That way, we can keep sharing our stories throughout the year. The idea was met with enthusiasm, and they soon discussed how it would be carried out. They decided to meet once a month at someone different's house and read a book together, followed by a storytelling session where each person shared their tales. Jake was excited about the book club, feeling it would be an opportunity to continue creating memories and adventures. We can choose a book each month, and at the end of each meeting, write a story inspired by what we read, he suggested. Over the months, the book club became a resounding success. The community's kids joined, and together they explored different literary genres, from fairy tales to space adventures. Each book became a new opportunity to imagine and create, and the stories began to flow. Each meeting was filled with imagination and joy. The Smith family enjoyed every moment, seeing how their friends joined the tradition of storytelling. With each gathering, the connection between them all grew, and their small group became a large family. A year later, the family decided to organize a grand celebration to commemorate the first anniversary of the book club. They wanted to do something special to thank everyone who had participated. So, they planned a magical night filled with activities like read-alouds, shadow theater, and even a small story competition. The night of the event, the park was lit up with colored lights and decorations that created an enchanting atmosphere. Laughter resonated in the air as families gathered to celebrate their love for stories. Emily, with a big smile, stepped onto the stage and said, "Thank you all for being part of this wonderful journey. Each story we share brings us closer and closer. Today, we celebrate not just our words, but the love and joy they bring to our lives." And so, the Smith family storybook and their love for storytelling continued to bring people together, creating a legacy of shared memories and adventures that would endure for generations.